tila tatapusin na ni President Bongbong Marcos ang isyu patungkol sa mga bintang pagnanakaw ni Zaldico sa kanya at nais na daw nitong patunayang malinis ang kanyang hangarin para sa mamamayang Pilipino. Ayon sa balita, nagkaroon na ng pribadong pag-uusap sina President Marcos at Zaldico at nagkaroon daw talaga ng komosyon. Nais na lang daw ng magkabilang kampo na idaan sa Senate hearing ang lahat upang nang sa gayon daw ay magkaalaman na kung sino talaga ang magnanakaw. Narito panoorin ang video.
Nakalagay dito, number 141. In compliance with his order, I forwarded the list to Sec. Bonoan. He told me that Undersecretary for Planning shall facilitate and ensure the inclusion of these projects in the NEP. So sinama pa lamang sa NEP, tapos 142, Engineer Alcantara gave 10% of the value of the project. Ibig sabihin, wala pa yung proyekto sa baba. Nasa NEP pa lang, may 10% na.
Normally, ganun po, Your Honor, after the listing of the NEP.
Saan galing yung pera?
Sa mga contractor po na gustong mag-take ng risk po.
Yan ang ibig kong sabihin kanina, di ba? May advance na. Kaya yung sinasabi mo na wala kang alam, hindi mo alam, sila nag-uusap, doon pa lang, tama si Senator Pangilinan, may advance. Sama dito sa statement na binigay na affidavit ni Engineer Bernardo, may advance.
Your Honor, i-differentiate ko lang po if you may. Yung pong binabanggit po ni Senator Pangilinan, yun po yung mga special fund po, hindi po yun yung allocable ng Congressman, Your Honor. Doon po sa allocable ng Congressman, wala pong ganon. Yun lang pong mga special funds na coming from whether, hindi ko po alam kung whether kay Secretary or kay Yusek Cabral or sa House man po, kung saan po. Dalawa po kasi yan, sir, isang allocable po. Yun po yung fixed allocable na naka-allocate po sa district representative. Yun po yung sinasabi ko, sir, na wala pong advance, wala po kaming knowledge. So, yung mga special release po, special request po sa department na bumababa rin po sa NEP, that is not part of the allocable of the district representative. Yun po yung merong ganun po, Your Honor.
Alright, quickly na lang, okay, before I move to Yusek Bisnar ng DPWH. 3 beses ka nabanggit dito sa affidavit ni Engineer Bernardo. Sa line 19, line 21, line 24. Tama po ba ito? Itong sinasabi na third quarter 2024, I asked District Engineer Alcantara to prepare a list. Tapos sa line 21, 1.5 billion submitted by Engineer Alcantara. Tapos dito sa 24, Engineer Alcantara ulit, a 25% commission of about 125 million.
Your Honor, sa pagkakatanda ko po, no, lahat po ng nire-request po sa akin ni Boss, pinadadala ko naman po. Probably, baka po naman po magtugma doon sa listahan ko, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Let me move now, Mr. Chair, to Yusek Bisnar. Meron pong akong balita na natatanggap na merong move na yung mga dokumento incriminating ranking officials, politiko, minamagic o nawawala sa mga sunog. Tama po ba? Ano na ho nangyayari sa investigasyon na ito?
Your Honor, if you're referring po dun sa nasunog sa Bureau of Research and Standards, na-confirm na po doon na wala pong project documents or bidding documents na naapektuhan. Regarding po yung status naman po ng mga documents sa iba't ibang regional and district offices po ng DPWH, ginawa po ni Secretary Vince na ang lahat para ma-secure po ang mga ito. Isa po sa naunang memo po niya, pag-upo po niya noong September, ay digitize ang mga documents at ipasecure sa mga regional and district officials, Your Honor.
Did you take a second look dito sa DPWH Bureau of Research and Standards building sa Nia Road? Kasi po, sir, totoo ba ang balita na natanggap po sa aking informante na yung DPWH BRS building na sinasabi nyo na wala mga records, ito po ay dating tanggapan ng ex-wife po ni Engineer Bryce Hernandez na si Engineer Mel Clarice Santo Domingo. Did you look at that angle?
Titingnan po namin,
Titingnan pa
Your
lang po
Honor.
ninyo. Hindi po-
Narinig po namin yung information na
Alright.
yung former wife po ni Engineer Hernandez ay doon po naka-assign
Okay.
bago po siya nag-submit ng resignation. Pero wala pa pong confirmation kung meron po ba siyang hawak na mga documents pertaining po sa mga flood control and other infra projects, Your
Okay,
Honor.
pakitignan lang po, Yusek Bisnar, kasi, well, actually, may mga duda ang ilang mga kababayan natin. I just read this in the newspaper also. Last question na lang po, bilisan na lang po ninyo. Ano po nangyari doon sa tampering sa Baguio City? Yung pinasok po yung opisina ninyo sa Baguio City, destruction of documents sa Baguio City District Engineering Office. Bakit daw po? Tinanong nyo na ba yung tao? Bakit sinira? Bakit sino ba yung sa dokumento na yan? Opisyal ba yung sa dokumento na yan? Mambabatas na naman ba yan? Did you ask? Ano ho nangyari? Ilang buwan na ho yan? What's your report?
Kukunin ko po yung huling report po doon. Ang nakuha po namin is PNP po ang nag-imbestiga nung alleged tampering. For the meantime po, nirelieve na po si District Engineer Sarate ng Baguio City dahil po dun sa allegation na yun, Your Honor.
Kasi nga po, may tampering. Ibig sabihin, may tinatago. Di po ba? Siguro, baka may kumausap po sa kanya. So we really need to look into that, Yusek Bisnar. Ano po, hindi po natin ipalawalang bahala. Kasi marami pong nadadamay dito. Siyempre, marami pong gusto magpalusot at ayaw masama rito. So you really need to take a look into that, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
I would need a report from the DPWH. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
We will submit, Your Honor.
The Senate President is recognized.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Tama-tama yung nabanggit ni Senator Erwin being the Vice Chairman, yung kangay mga nabanggit. I would just like to manifest na and caution the committee na yung mga natatanggap nating impormasyon maayos naman at ito naman yung mga sinumpaang salaysay, pero there are certain concerns na kailangan we take it as it is. Like for example, pagbanggit ng staff ni ganon, hindi siya, yung staff niya, di ba? For example, yung kay Senator Grace po, staff ni Grace po yung kausap, hindi si Grace po. Okay, and then also, doon sa percentage supposed to be for Senator Mark, sabi, presumably for. Hindi rin sinabi sa affidavit na sa kanya, di ba? Okay. Anyway, just a manifestation for the consumption of the committee pag ina-analyze natin itong mga nakukuha natin mga affidavits at saka mga sworn statements. Now, my real question actually was directed to the former hearing we had during the time that Senator Marcoleta was the chairman of the Committee on Blue Ribbon. Naalala ko lang kasi na hiningi natin yung ledger from Mr. and Mrs. Diskaya, the ledger na hawak nila. As a matter of fact, there is a subpoena, duces tecum issued. So, did you submit it already or can we have it?
Your Honor, nakakulong po ako sa detention. Katunayan nga po sa ICI po nung nakaraan ay humingi po kami ng for law yata ang tawag doon na mahanap ko po sana yung mga ledger na yon. So hindi rin po sila gumawa ng sulat sa Senate po yung ICI. Bali hindi ko po na-comply po, Your Honor.
Si Mrs. Diskaya, di naman siya naka-confine dito sa atin. Hindi ba pwede
Wala po
siya?
siyang, Your Honor, wala po siyang idea dun sa mga, kasi ako po ang may ka-transaction po dun sa ibang politician po.
Hindi ba pwedeng sabihin kay Ms. Diskaya kung saan nakalagay? So, pwedeng natin pakuha ngayon para andito pa naman tayo. Meron subpoena doon si Stecom dyan.
Your Honor, wala po siyang idea po dun sa ganong klase ng transaction ko po.
Mr. Chairman, with the permission of the Senate President and the Chairman,
Yes, go ahead,
it
please.
has not, walang kinalaman yung kung alam niya yung transaksyon o hindi. Kung alam mo nasaan yung ledger, sasabihin mo sa kanya, andito yung ledger, pakikuha at ibigay sa akin. Hindi ba? For the record, Mr. President.
Your Honor, kasi nag-transfer po kami ng nag-transfer sa office po namin. So, hindi po nila, kahit ako din po, Your Honor, hindi ko rin po matansya kung saang bandang particular ng mga lalagyan po namin na ilagay sa dami po ng aming mga documentation.
Yeah, para lang ma-refresh yung memo, with the permission of Senate President, Senator Pangilinan, joint affidavit yung sinabit nyo noong chairman si Senator Marcoleta, no? Na sinasabi nyo, kayong dalawa nagsasabi, ito ay binibigay namin sa kanila ng cash. Ang bawat transaction ay may karampatang voucher at ledger na nagsasaad ng mga araw kung kailan nila natatanggap. Ano? In fairness to the congressmen and in fairness to the committee, kailangan namin yung ledger because mananatili itong say-so o he says, she says itong inyong salaysay. So kaya nga binigyan namin ng pinadala namin ng subpoena duces tecum si Mrs. Sara Diskaya para dalhin niya yung ledger. At inamin niyo na mayroong ledger. It's a matter of record. Public record ito eh. Ngayon sasabihin mo hindi makita yung ledger. Pagka ganyan, baka may mag-move dito, makontempt si Mrs. Diskaya. Magkakasama kayo sa detention center, sa detention cell. Kasi maliwanag, hindi naman ikaw lang nagsabi na may ledger eh. Dalawa kayo. Kasi nga sinumpaan sa salaysay ito eh.
Your Honor, ang binasa lang po ng misis ko doon sa affidavit po ng una ay hanggang ano lang po, paragraph 15 lang po. Hanggang doon lang po siya nagbasa kasi doon lang po yung...
We will excuse you. Sasamahan ka ng Sergeant at Arms para kunin yung ledger and we will wait for you.
Mr. Chair, if I may add.
Yes, Senator Pangilinan.
Yes, yun ang ginawa natin kay Mr. Hernandez. Ipinakita niya na gusto niyang puntahan yung kanyang opisina o kung saan man yung bahay para kunin yung mga dokumento. At si Mr. Diskaya should be able to do the same.
Yeah. Pareho na kayong dalawa, mag-asawa. Pa-escorta namin kayo sa USAA para magtulong kayong hanapin yung ledger. Kasi kayo rin, sa inyo rin ang galing na mayroong ledger.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
if I
Senator
may
Pangilinan.
add. Well, Mr. Diskaya, nakakulong na po kayo. Nabanggit na nga po ni Chairman na baka isama na rin po si Mrs. Diskaya. Dahil mukhang nagbibigay ka ng kung ano-anong palusot para hindi mailabas yung ledger. Yun ang dating sa amin sa komite. So, sana, kung ayaw ninyong makulong pati si Mrs. Diskaya, yun na ang paraan. Sumunod na lang at ibalik dito yung ledger, kung maaari.
Mr. Chair, with the permission of the Senate President.
Yes,
Yes, I just wanted to find out what happened to the ledger. So I give up on my time, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, I share the concern of the Senate President na ni-reiterate ni Senator Pangilinan, ni-reiterate din ng Chairman. At ngayon, kaya nila sinabi na i-excuse kayo, Ms. Diskaya, para kunin yung ledger na yan. I just wish to reiterate, Mr. Chair, na sa pagkuha at pagsumite nila ng ledger sa ating komite, kasama po explicitly yung listahan ng mga proyekto nila mula 2016 hanggang 2022 na hiningi ko po nung nakaraang hearing. Top contractor po, Mr. Chair, mga kasama ang St. Gerard Corporation or Construction sa dating administrasyon. Pero ang sinumite nila, yung mga proyekto lamang kasama ang DPWH para sa Alpha and Omega lamang. Hindi rin po sinumite yung mga proyekto na sakop ng mga joint venture agreements, yung mga JVAs, kasama yung iba pang mga contractors. And that kind of sanitized list, Mr. Chair, would give us nothing. Lalong papatunayan lamang ng mag-asawang Diskaya na hindi sila nakikiisa sa Blue Ribbon Committee na mapanagot at maparusahan yung mga dapat managot. at maparusahan. So I request the chair to include explicitly in his ruling regarding Ms. Diskaya a reiteration of this request for them to submit yung pong listahan ng mga proyekto nila kasama ang DPWH, kasama po yung mga joint venture agreements ng lahat ng mga kumpanya nila, St. Gerard, Alpha and Omega at iba pa mula sa mga taong 2016 hanggang 2022. I so respectfully request, Mr. Chair.
Senator Tulfo.
Mr. Chair, tama po yung desisyon siguro. Ang gawin ho natin, pasamahan po itong mag-asawa ng USAA, ng ating Senate Security, samahan po sa opisina. Hindi po ako naniniwala, Ginang Diskaya, na ito po itatabi nyo lang basta-basta because this is a very important piece of document. Noong una po kayo nandito, sinabi po ninyo, may listahan kayo. Kaya nga po, meron po tayong listahan ng mga mababatas na inimbitahan po natin because nabanggit po ninyo. Kung wala naman ho tayong ipakita, paano naman bumukha ho na naniwala lang ho kami. We need documentation po na nakalista talaga, na tumanggap ito mga taong ito, nakatransact po ninyo. So yun po. And I believe and I hope ito po hindi basta-bastang papeles, ito po ay dokumento, nabanggit na ho ninyo, alam nyo, important document po yung ledger na yun, kaya hindi nyo po pwedeng, hindi mo alam, naglipat kayo ilang beses, siguro sa tingin ko, baka tinatago talaga ninyo. Kaya the only way para maniwala kami, samahan po kayo ng aming Senate Security, i-retrieve po ninyo, pwede nyo sabihin yung sekretary nyo, makukulong na si Mrs. Diskaya, ilabas nyo na. Parang awa nyo na, Mrs. Diskaya, sabihin mo sa sekretarya mo, Iha, makukulong na ako, wala na magbabantay sa mga anak namin. Can you do that?
Your Honor, upon my advice of my lawyer po, okay po, wala pong problema. Pero po, baka hindi po lahat siguro dahil syempre,
whatever is
isa-isahin
available.
po,
Okay
kung
lang.
ano po ang available na pwede ko pong makuha kaagad.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, sorry. Pero yung ledger, dapat lahat. Baka mamaya yung ledger, tatanggalan mo ng 3-4 na pahina kasi hindi lahat. Hindi ba, Mr. Chairman? Just, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Hercito.
Mr. Chair, pwede rin naman siguro kung natatakot sila sa security ng anak nila, pwede mo tayo mag-executive session only for that purpose. Or, ang balita rin namin kasi, Mr. Chair, yung mga pinangalanan ni Mr. Diskaya, yung mga hindi daw nagsauli. So, may text messages daw kayo. Baka kahit yung mga text messages, pwede nyo na pakita sa ngayon sa ating chair o sa member ng committee.
Mr. Chair, medyo naguguluhan ako.
Order muna, sandali. Okay. Pumayag na yung abogado mo na sasama kayo ng security ng Senate, di ba? At babalik kayo para dalhin yung dokumento, ledger. Nagpapatunay o nagsusuporta doon sa inyong sinumpang salaysay na may mga kongresista na nakatanggap sa inyo. Yun ang maliwanag, hindi ba, Mr. Diskaya?
Your Honor, hindi lang po congressman, pati po mga
Yes.
ano po.
Yes, maski sino, lahat.
Mga USEC.
Lahat. But before we let you go, sinabi nyo rin sa inyong sinupang salaysay na wala kayong ghost projects, hindi ba?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Okay. Doon sa 421 na inspeksyon ng PNP saka ng AFP, I think Corps of Engineers ito, no, na kasama ng DPWH. Dalawa, di ba sa inyo yung St. Gerard?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. 382.67 million total cost of ghost projects. 4, 2 Southern Leyte, First, saka Region 1, saka Region 4B. Sumunod, meron pa kayong 367.15 total cost of ghost projects. 3 sa Mindoro Occidental, 1 sa Region 4B, 1 sa Zamboanga City. Just for the record, ano? Kasi sinasabi nyo noon, wala kayong ghost project.
Your Honor, hindi po ghost project yung mga lugar na yan. Yung iba po dyan po ay nagkamali lang po ng pinasang
Hindi.
coordinates lang po.
Yan ang depensa lagi ng na iba yung grid coordinates, pero hindi pwede magkamali yung sumbong sa Pangulo grid coordinates. Kasi binanggapan namin ito sa DPWH website na meron ding grid coordinates. Kaya hindi pwedeng ipalusot na magkaiba yung grid coordinates. Anyway, that's just for the record. Sergeant at Arms, kindly escort the couple out of this session hall. para kunin yung mga dokumento na kailangan natin. Thank you very much. Yes, where are we?
And the ledger, Mr. Chairman, the ledger.
Yes, understood.
Mr. Chairman, just one procedural administrative matter. When are they supposed to come back? Wala kasing specific time.
Within the day.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Baka hindi na bumulik eh. Biro lang.
Where are we? Senate President? Senator Risa Ontiveros, it's your turn.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Gusto ko pong magtanong, since nakapag-manifest na po ako tungkol dun sa listahan na hinihingi sa Diskaya couple, gusto ko pong unang makapagtanong sa kinatawan ni Secretary Dizon. So I see this morning, Mr. Chair, that is Undersecretary Bisnar. So para po sa DPWH, USEC, nasa 50 billion pesos ang ginastos sa flood control projects sa Cebu in just the last 10 years, the last decade. Of that 50B, 26 billion pesos, higit kalahati, just in the last 3 years. Pero sa kabila po niyan, 150 na tao ang namatay. So far, yun yung naitatala. 451 ang sugatan. 100,000 ang walang bahay matapos ang bagyo. Bukod pa po sa naunang lindol. At ilan pa po ang missing. So baka po tumaas pa yung death toll natin. Now, given that scale of investment in the last 3 years, in the last decade, sir, the sheer volume of flood control projects supposedly in place to keep our people safe, bakit po umabot sa ganito? Kamatayan, nasaktan ng tao, nasira yung mga bahay at ibang structures.
Your Honor, ito po mga nasabi na rin po ng ni Secretary Dizon sa mga naunang pahayag niya tungkol sa nangyari sa Cebu. Una po, ang sinabi po niya is despite yung ganito kalaking budget, dami ng flood control projects, ang nakikita po natin sa nangyari is ineffective po yung itong mga proyekto na ginawa sa Cebu. Pangalawa po, meron pong formal report na isasubmit po si Secretary in the next few days tungkol po dito sa nangyari to determine yung mga reasons. And moving forward, ano po ba ang mga dapat gawin, Your Honor?
Dadako din po tayo dun sa moving forward, pero balik lang po tayo, atras lang po tayo, Yusek, dun sa bakit, no? Na how would you explain this? Obviously, kahit sinong tao, kahit hindi DPWH, sasabihin talagang pambihira sa kabila nung bilyong pisong ginastos sa ilang daang mga proyekto, inabot tayo ng ganito. Sabi niyo po, ineffective yung flood control projects. How would you explain na ganyang karaming project, umabot ng ganyang kalaking halaga, naging ineffective pa nitong nakaraang ilang mga natural and human-made disasters?
Ma'am, yung mga specific explanations will be submitted with the report of Secretary. Ayoko pong mag-speculate at this time kasi po mga technical po yung mga technical engineers po natin ang mismong pumunta po sa Cebu para pag-aralan po yung pangyayari.
Okay, Yusek, ito po, hindi ito speculation. Sabi naman ng NBI, Region 7 Director, maraming substandard flood control projects sa Cebu. At sabi ng gobernador ng probinsya, kung di ghost project, substandard. So nagko-concur ang gobernador at ang NBI Region 7. At si Secretary Dizon mismo, even in advance of nung report na isasubmit nila in the next few days, sabi ni Sec, these are signs of deficiencies, poor planning, and ill-advised decisions. So, pakisabi po sa komite namin, base sa investigasyon nyo so far, ano exactly ang kinamatay ng mga kababayan natin sa Cebu?
Your Honor, if I may, nandito po yung Regional Director po ng DPWH Region 7 Siya po ang nasa ground at that time. Pwede po bang ipatawag po natin, Your Honor?
Actually, Yusek, I also have some
Yes.
specific questions para po sa DPWH Region 7. Pero just to get,
Yes.
just to pick your brain, pick your heart about this. So, ang ikinabatay ba ng mga kababayan natin sa Cebu ay negligence? Incompetence ba? Outright corruption din ba? Base sa ongoing investigation nyo, ano pong mga temang lumalabas
It
doon?
appears po na it's a combination of all those factors, Your Honor. Sa mga naging testimonies na rin po dito sa Blue Ribbon Committee, nasabi na rin po dahil meron pong mga commitments, meron pong mga advance. Doon pa lang po, makikita po natin na wala pong proyekto na talagang napondohan ng tama. Dahil po lahat po nabawasan na, Your Honor.
Well, salamat sa forthrightness nyo, Yusek, na hindi lang isa, hindi lang dalawa, maaring hindi lang itong tatlong factors, pero ngayon pa lang lumilitaw kahit sa investigasyon ng DPWH, combination of all factors na minamagnify yung gravity no, ng situation at minamagnify yung krimen na nangyari no, laban sa ating mga kababayan doon sa Cebu. And salamat din, taman yung iniugnay dun sa mga detalye nung isa sa mga factor na yun ng corruption na lumalabas pa rin dito sa ating pagdidig. Yung ganyang mga fenomeno ng commitments, dati commitment positibo, dito lumalabas negatibong paggamit, advances, etc. Dahil maling napondohan yung mga proyektong iyon. Dati rin po sinabi ni Sec Dizon, Yusek, sa hearing din na ito, na walang national master plan ang mga flood control projects sa bansa. Pero, ayon sa research, may flood control master plan naman, at least para sa Cebu. Meron pala. Gawa mismo ng DPWH kasama ng JICA at finalize po ito 2017 pa. 8 years ago pa po, kasama ang water impounding, watershed protection, irrigation at iba pa. So, mayroon pong konkreto mga components yung inyong master plan ng department with JICA from more than half a decade ago. Ini-implement ba yan? At least ng dating DPWH administration, Yusek?
What appears, Your Honor, is hindi po ito na-implement. And ito rin po yung, again, moving forward, ito po yung kinukonsulta po ni Secretary sa Project NOAA, sa UP, sa DNR, para po finally, although limited po yung flood control projects po natin for 2026, ay ma-implement po natin.
So, salamat Yusek. Hindi in-implement yung pinaghirapang master plan ninyo, at least for Cebu, no? Kasama ang JICA, pinaghirapan at pinagastusan ng DPWH. So why was that master plan buried? Or bakit siya nilunod tulad ng pagkalunod ngayon ng ating mga kababayan sa Cebu?
Your Honor, I'll find out the exact circumstances kung bakit po nangyari ito. And will report to you, Your Honor.
Salamat po. Nilibing ba yung master plan na yan? O pinigilan ba yan? O inayawan ba yan? Ano yung sense ng current leadership sa DPWH na naging ugali ng previous administrations ng DPWH dito sa master plan na dapat sana napigilan yung ganitong kalaking pagdurusa ng mga Cebuano?
What appears, Your Honor, is neglected po yung mga master plans even nung mga time pa po ni Secretary Singson, Your Honor.
So, hindi natin pwedeng panatilihin yan. Ma-neglect ang isang master plan na dapat hindi ine-neglect, kundi aalagaan at poprotektahan yung ating mga kababayan, yung mga taxpayers na through the department ay nagbayad para dito at nagbayad sa JICA o sa iba pang partners ninyo. And sa assessment po ng department, Yusek, ano naman ngayon ang kailangang tutukan ng DPWH Region 7 sa problema ng baha? May pagka-moving forward na po ito. Meron na po bang nasisimulang makita na dapat na future directions ng DPWH sa Region 7 kung hindi man sa iba pang mga rehiyon na flood affected din?
Yes, Your Honor. Kasama na dito yung mga river basins na nabanggit na rin po ni Secretary. And all other measures po na to prevent po itong mga flash flood na nangyari, Your Honor.
And tama po kayo, Yusek, kasi yung mga river basins, sa pagkaalala ko, ay naging basehan, kumbaga baseline, topographical, geological data ng mga master plan na binuo ng inyong department. Hindi lang po sa Cebu, pati po dito sa NCR, lumabas po sa isang naunang hearing kaugnay ng mga flood control projects sa Quezon City na nag-fail din. Pati po mga master plan ninyo, halimbawa sa Central Luzon, na kinataka ng aming komite sa kabila ng may regional flood control master plan ay bakit nangyari itong pagbabaha nitong mga huling panahon sa Bulacan at sa iba pang mga probinsya sa Central Luzon. Then, Yusek, ayon mismo sa batas, may pananagutan ang contractor sa mga kababayan nating napinsala. Pananagutan in terms of defects in construction, use of construction materials, inferior materials, o violation of contract. So unang tanong ko po sa mga isyong ito, Yusek, makakasingil ba ng danyos ang mga pamilyang namatayan o nasaktan o nawalan o nasiraan ng bahay sa palpak at substandard na infrastructure?
Ma'am, ayaw ko pong pangunahan yung legal po ng DPWH, pero as a personal opinion po, I think po meron po silang kinalaman at dapat po rin silang managot dito sa nangyari sa Cebu, Your Honor.
Salamat, Yusek. I hope yung ganyang ethical sense nyo mag-guide din o maging input din sa legal ng DPWH sa pag-consider ng tanong na ito. Dahil ito po ay magiging consistent kung sakali dun sa lumabas na sa aming komite na may obligasyon ang mga contractor sa gobyerno dahil sa pagkakaroon ng warranties, dahil sa pagkakaroon ng period, depende sa ganong kapermanente ang mga proyekto, 1 year ba, 5 years ba, isang dekada ba, na accountable pa rin sila para sa quality at para sa durability ng mga proyektong ito. At hindi contrary doon kung magsasabi ang DPWH Legal na mayroon din silang sagutin itong mga contractors, pati sa mga kababayan nating nadamay. And I will be more specific here, Yusek. Ano po? Would you agree? Would the department agree na hindi lang ito simpleng pagkakamali, kundi malinaw na gross negligence?
Overall, Your Honor, ako on a personal basis is I do agree with your observation, Your Honor.
And again, Yusek, I hope itong personal sense nyo bilang isa sa pinakamataas na opisyal ng department would also help guide yung legal ng department sa pag-consider ng mga isyong ito. I would venture even further para itanong kung sang-ayon kaya ang department, at least i-consider na ang nangyari ay homicidal negligence. At dahil doon, dapat talagang bigyang danyos ang mga kababayan nating nawala ng buhay ng kanilang mga mahal sa buhay dahil sa kapalpakan ng contractors.
Yes, Your Honor.
Salamat, Yusek. Dako naman po ako, Mr. Chair, sa isang specific na pambihirang fenomeno na bumulaga sa atin nitong nakaraang mga bagyo. Doon po sa The Rise at Monterasa sa Barangay Guadalupe, Cebu City, kung saan binaha ang mga residente, hindi sa taas, sa paanan ng bundok. Sabi po ni Secretary sa media, didiretsuhin ko na pinagkakitaan ang proyektong ito. Ano pong ibig sabihin ni Sec doon?
I do not want to second-guess the Secretary, Your Honor. Let me clarify the matter with him and I'll inform you before the hearing ends, Your Honor.
Salamat para doon, Yusek. Pero kahit hindi particular sa The Rise at Monterasa, kapag sinabi ng Secretary ng Department about any development, any project na pinagkakitaan iyon, paanong nasabing pinagkakitaan?
Your Honor, I am not privy to the project in in Cebu, the Monterasas. I believe the regional director of DP, R.D. Villa, will be more competent to discuss the specifics, Your Honor.
Salamat, Yusek. I will get to, as I mentioned earlier, DENR Region 7. Baka sa second round ko na, pero sa last quarter minute ko, follow-up question sa DENR kung nandito po yung Environmental Management Bureau. Opo. Hindi lang ng Region 7, pero ng national. Or kung wala, kahit ng Region 7. So is that, Ma'am Abrera, tama po ba? Yes, ma'am. So yung one follow-up question ko po sa itong unang round ko, hindi naman po nagkulang ang pagbabala, hindi lang ng iisang tao, but several people, about the structural design niyang subdivision ng The Rise at Monterasa. And their warnings were that this would endanger the environment around the development and the community at the bottom of that mountain. So now, after the storms, after the floods, it's coming out na there were not just one, but several, even many violations. So, una po, my last question for this round. Sino po ba yung nagbulag-bulagan sa DENR at DNR-EMB para mag-grant yung environmental compliance certificate nito? Yes, Mr. Chair, Ma'am Abrera.
Hello, Your Honor. Sa nagbulag-bulagan, hindi ko po masasagot yan. Ang ICC po ng Monterasa has gone through the whole process of EIA. Kompleto po yan, public scoping, technical reviews. It has undergone 4 technical reviews instead of 3. And then public hearing. Then there is an independent body which recommended for the approval. So 2007 and 2024 po siya.
In closing for my first round, Mr. Chair, before I give way to Senator Pangilinan, hindi ko po matanggap na hindi nyo masagot sa nangyari at sa scale niya, sa tindi niya. By now, you should be gathering some answers, hindi lang para sa publiko, pati para sa department ninyo moving forward. So I will follow up on my questions about this, Mr. Chair, sa second round. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tiberos. Senator Pangilinan is recognized.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yung unang request kay Yusek Bernardo, you already provided annexes, no, as to itong mga projects, but you also provided percentages as to yung mga nakolekta, 20, 25, 15, 10. Pwede nyo ba, for submission na lang, isuma magkano ang base dun sa mga porsyentong nabanggit nyo at yung project cost, magkano ang kabuuang kickback sa buong ano ninyo, no, sa buong salaysay ninyo, no? Kasi mayroong 15 billion over 3 years, tama? 5 billion, 5 billion, 5 billion, tapos may 15% per year, no? So gusto ko lang malaman yung lawak, no, ang estima. Can you do that for us? Have it submitted?
Mr. Chair, regarding that po, can I ask my counsel for a while?
Yes, sure. It's just a matter of doing a summing up of all your, all of the receipt, 15%, not only of you, no? Lahat nung mga nabanggit nyo. It doesn't have to be exact because we can always cross-check it anyway. Pero yung parang ano lang, isuma nyo lang, no? Kasi siyempre kayo ang nakakaalam eh. Baka kami teka muna, pag tinignan namin, isusuma namin, baka hindi maging as accurate, no? Yun lang actually. But go ahead if you need to seek advice of counsel.
Mr. Chair, I was advised by my counsel to seek the permission of the Prosecutor General regarding that. Please.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, insofar as the request made by the Honorable Senator Pangilinan, I believe that would be considered covered by the confidentiality also, because this is indicated in, there may be some matters which are indicated in the memorandum of agreement that was signed by Yusek Bernardo with the Witness Protection Program as represented by the Secretary of Justice. So the only way that it can be released or can be disclosed is if there is written authority coming from the Secretary of Justice himself, or if there is any order coming from a competent court, sir.
Can we request the Secretary of Justice for that order? Because this is in aid of legislation, and we would like to have the information for this committee.
We will make that representation, Mr. Chair, with the Secretary of Justice if the same can be the subject of a written authority. And I would suppose that if any disclosure would be made, if it can be done in an executive session, sir.
Understood, understood.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
But this is a public document.
Yes, sir.
So can we perhaps, with your assistance, whatever is made available here should be made available to us without need of Secretary of Justice's permission. I mean, whatever figures were mentioned here, hindi ba? I am only pertaining to this. I'm not pertaining to whatever other information he has with him or personal knowledge that he has not provided for in this affidavit.
Well, I believe, Mr. Chair, that with respect to the numbers or the percentages which are stated in the affidavit that was read by Undersecretary Bernardo, a mathematical computation can already be made of the totality.
Yes,
but,
yes.
As to the specifics, I'm
Okay.
referring to that, Mr. Chair, insofar as the confidentiality
Just the
issue is.
mathematical totality and maybe perhaps per item. You know, he had several numbers per subject. There are several subjects. So one subject, for example, in the case of Undersecretary Maria Catalina, delivered cash. I mean, as best as he could recall, kung maaari. So in that case, you are allowing him, as long as it is limited to what he already divulged.
Senator Pangilinan, if I may. We were just informed by our General Counsel, si Attorney Gerard Mosquera, na as far as WPP is concerned, ang limitation lang sa disclosure is wag mag-contradict at wag mag-recant doon sa kanyang affidavit as submitted to the DOJ for purposes of admission. As I understand, admitted na yata si Yusek Bernardo, di ba? Kaya he's now constrained to limit his testimony to what the DOJ has advised him to do. Tama po ba yan?
That is correct, sir. And in fact, Yusek Bernardo has been given provisional admission already to the Witness Protection Program, sir.
Yes.
That is why there are restrictions already.
I was also informed by Secretary Vida yesterday that he has given authority for him to disclose information before this committee. So probably, kung estimate lang naman ang hinihingi ni Senator Pangilinan, baka naman pwedeng, hindi naman hard and fast rule as to the amount, Maski estimate lang, just to satisfy the good senator and the committee.
Yes, Mr. Chair. That is why I already acceded to the request that was made earlier, insofar as it is a general mathematical computation of what is stated in the affidavit. Yes, there is an authority that was given by the Secretary, but it limits also the matters that can be discussed and brought out by Yusek Bernardo, sir.
Yeah.
But as far as the request is concerned, we can, I believe, accede to that.
Thank you. We respect that, PG. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we hope it will just be a rough estimate of the amounts involved, the percentages total. Kasi yung sinasabi lang dun kay Mr. Bonoan, Secretary Bonoan, 5 billion every year for 3 years. So that's 15 billion. And then ang ballpark figure is average 15%. So 15% of 15 billion is 1.5 plus 750. So,
15 and 15 eh, 2.25.
yeah, 2.25 billion yung kickback. Para, yung komisyon, di ba? Yun ang lumalabas. Doon lang sa 3 taon. No? At, yes, yung personal 15% allocation. That's why we'd like to see ano ba yung universe doon sa ano. No? So, thank you. Nabanggit mo yung sa inyong Mr. Bernardo, napansin natin na sabi nyo, from time to time, meron kayong binibigay kay Yusek Cabral. Pay line 134 na cash. Yung iba detalyado, yung kay Yusek Cabral, walang specific amounts. Why is that? Bakit?
Mr. Chair, I have to really come back to whatever is available records because just like as I mentioned in my affidavit, there were releases for, let's say, for the EDSA road projects, lump sum. Now, I have, being a retired USEC from the DPWH, I have not yet recovered the notes or the SARO.
Yes, but okay, I understand. Pero halimbawa, delivered cash. On one instance, how much cash was that? In one delivery?
As far as I can remember po, meron pong 5 million, 7 million.
Ano yung pinakamalaking delivery?
I think more than 10 million, but I really cannot.
I just wanted that clarified, no? Kasi hindi na-specify. But okay, sino pala si Engineer Opulencia?
Right now, he was appointed po as Regional Director of NCR, but I was informed that he is no longer the Regional Director of NCR.
Okay.
So he is assigned to a USEC or in the department. As far
So
as
he's still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe please inform your head of agency, Yusek Bisnan, based on this testimony, you better have some administrative procedure. No?
Your Honor, actually, he was invited and he
In the case of Regional Director Opulencia, we will issue subpoena for the next hearing because he was invited and he's not here. So, issue natin ng subpoena for the next hearing.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Well, in relation to that, Mr. Chairman, perhaps even Yusek, Trigiv, and Cabral, again, should be invited. But yung okay. Napansin ko din, Ginoong Bernardo, na on the section ng mga congressman, 3, no? Bakit hindi very general? Wala, unlike yung mga sa senador. Is that parang I'm just looking at the difference, no? Kinokumpara ko yung testimony ninyo. Pagka yung mga senador mahaba, which is revealing, of course. Pero sa mga congressman, parang kulang. 1, 2 sentence lang. Ganun. Why is that?
Mr. Chair, as of now po, I have not really identified the projects which were downloaded to those congressmen, Mr. Chair. Hindi po ako makarecover pa ng kwan. But I remember that there were projects that were really downloaded in their districts. Gusto ko lang din po makasiguro, mahirap po kasi na mag-identify ako ng project na hindi po talaga sa kanila napunta, sa kanilang distrito. So, Mr. Chair, given the time and more time, maybe I can identify po those projects.
So when you say I submitted projects being proposed by her, this was proposed by her, and this is Kahayon Robes, no? Proposed to you?
Yes, no, Mr. Chair. Because the district engineer was the one who was coordinating with them. So they have requests to the district engineer to really source out project funding for those projects, and then maybe she was trying to look for possible sources, like if I have proponents, I can help them. So yun po yung ginagawa niya.
So ito ba dahil, yun na nga, pagka-congressman, sa distrito? Ganun ba yun?
Doon po yun, Mr. Chair. Doon po yun, Mr. Chair.
Kaya, unlike sa Senate, hindi district engineer ang kausap. Tama ba yun?
There were
Ikaw
times
mismo,
likewise po na meron din pong sa district engineer, Mr. Chair.
Pero pagka ganun, basta ang parang general rule is pagka congressman, direkta sa district engineer. Kasi
Parati pong the usual thing po, Mr. Chair.
That's the general rule.
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
And for the senator, it does not necessarily go straight to the district engineer. Then it goes to you. That's why mas detalyado. Tama ba yun?
Mr. Chair, most of the times ganun po. Pero I think there are also, let's say, senators po, na kakilala naman po yung district engineer. Meron pong ganun. Minsan po, senador, kakilala rin yung contractor. So, meron pong ganun.
Okay. Balikan ko lang yung allocable. Ano yung, parang, ano yun? Inalok? Pero, pagka pwedeng allocable. No. Pagka may pagkakaiba yung allocable sa distrito at yung special, tama ba yun, Ginoong Alcantara?
Sir, regarding allocable, department po ang may formula nun, hindi po ang district office.
Again,
Department po yung nagpo-formulate. Hindi po kami.
Hindi ang district.
Yes po.
Kasi sabi mo nga, may distinction between yung distrito na pondo at yung department na pondo.
Yes po. Yung, kumbaga po.
Parang, kasi dito sa yung sinasabing you gathered, you collected 15%. Hindi ba? Yun, hindi yun sa distrito. Tama?
Hindi po yun regular allocable ng district representative.
Yes, and therefore, pag sinabing sa testimonya ni Mr. Bernardo, Ginoong Bernardo, na yun nga, Alcantara gave 10% of the value of the projects. Binigay mo kanino ito? Ito, 142. In compliance with his order, Secretary Bonoan, he told me that Undersecretary for Planning Maria Catalina shall facilitate and ensure. Ibig sabihin, nasa NEP pa lang, kumukolekta na ng 10% at binibigay na. Tama?
If that is not the allocable, yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Okay. Yan yung, anong tawag doon? Special? What is it called? Former USEC Bernardo.
Kung mapapansin niyo po, Mr. Chair, I have mentioned about USEC Cabral's authority over all these things. Ang ginagawa po ni USEC Cabral, actually, USEC Cabral po was the one who made the formula regarding the allocable of every congressman. Na ang formula pong yun, ay kahit kailan po ay hindi na ipaliwanag sa amin ni USEC Cabral. Kahit po kailan, alam ko na those congressmen were asking, bakit ka dumating sa ganitong formula? Paano yung ginawa mo? Ito po, kumbaga sa engineering, yung formula po, meron pong constant, merong variable, merong equation, pero siya lang po ang nakakaalam. So, yun po ay the allocable of every congressman. Let's say in Manila po, initially, congressmen of Manila are being given an allocable of 500 million lang. Yun po, meron pong distrito na mas malaki, meron pong mas maliit, meron pong maliit na distrito. Considering daw po yung population, meron pong performance ng district, merong geopolitical, marami po kinukonsider pero napaka-wide po yung universe ng kanyang ginawa. So, when it turned out, nagbigay lang po siya ng allocable amount sa bawat congressman. Ayun.
Yes, and this is, I'm trying to understand, no? Kasi nasa NEP pa lang, yung allocable, hindi sa NEP. Tama ba yun? Yung allocable, pag may budget na-approve na sa GAA, na medyo nalilito ako.
May I, Mr. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Yung pong allocable na yun, sa NEP pa lang po yun. I mean, each congressman are being apportioned of the budget for every district, congressional districts that they within their area of jurisdiction. Doon po yun ina-identify. Let's say, ang isang distrito po, meron po siyang allocable na 1 billion. Yun po yung kanyang congressman.
Okay, I understand. So therefore, since nasa NEP pa lang, ang mga nag-a-advance ng 15%, 10%, yung contractor. Hindi galing, tama ba yun? Kinukolekta Wala pang budget eh. Wala pang hindi pa approve yung budget ng DPWH. So wala pa sa departamento yung pondo. Pero nakakakolekto na si Ginoong Alcantara. Tama?
Mr. Chair, as far as I recall, the statements of Engineer Alcantara refers to the allocable na hindi daw po nag-a-advance yun. Kanina po niya sinabi. Dahil yun daw po ay allocations ng mga congressmen. So in his district, ewan ko po kung marirecall niya yung sinabi niya kanina na hindi daw po nag-a-advance yung mga yun kagad sa allocable ng congressmen. Yun po narinig ko sa kanya.
Yes po, Your Honor. Basta po yung allocable, wala pong ganun. Allocable. Doon po sa mga...
Sino naglalabas ng pondo? Sa district?
Sir, ganito po, if I may explain.
Sino nag-a-advance? Kasi NEP pa lang may... Sino di ba? May naglalabas ng pondo, hindi gobyerno. Tama?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir, hindi po allocable. Pag hindi po allocable, doon po, yung mga contractor po nagde-take risk sila na if they can make an advance. Hindi po allocable, sir. Kumbaga po, sir, halimbawa po, sir, yung NEP ganito kalaki, ang allocable nandito lang po. Ito pong mga excess of, tatawag pong over and above the allocable, yun po yung mga, iba po yung mga nagbaba, Your Honor.
And sino yung, dun sa mga contractor na nag-a-advance dahil hindi pondo ng gobyerno yan, dahil yun na nga, parang ina-advance nila para ma-coordinate na siguro yung project, di ba? May listahan kayo niyan? Ginoong Bernardo? Sino yung mga contractor na yan?
Mr. Chair, doon po sa case po, halimbawa po ni Engineer Alcantara at nila Engineer Opulencia, sila na po ang bahala kung sa case po ni Engineer Alcantara, siya po yung, I think, hindi ko po alam kung sino ang kausap niya doon, basta't ang nangyayari po doon, sa district level po, kung ano man po yung on top of the allocable, na halimbawa po yung na-download sa kanila, yun po yung kanyang tinatrabaho kung sino po yung kausap nila.
Okay, just to be clear, yung picture nung maraming pera na nilabas ni na Bryce, na magkano ang estimate nyo nun? Saan galing yun? Kanino galing yun? Sa contractor o sa DPWH?
Your Honor, sa contractor po yun. Yun po yung, I think sa pagkakatanda ko, that's the 579 million. Yun po yung kay Kong Saldi na initial, I think 2020, hindi po 2022, 2023, no? Kasi po, mayroon pong i-advance sa 10% doon sa 5.79 billion. The initial release po.
Contractor
po.
Yung SIMS?
Hindi po, ano sir. Marami po yun sir.
Marami. Okay. Sige, thank you. So yung maraming listahan na yun, pwede ba i-submit sa atin, Ginoong Bernardo? Do you have a list of sino itong mga to na pwedeng i-submit sa atin based on your knowledge? I would assume, no? Kasi sa'yo binibigay eh. Kinukolekta inuutos mo kay Alcantara, tapos si Henry ang kumukolekta. Ang daming I gave, he gave. Wala kang listahan ng sino-sino itong mga nagbibigay?
Mr. Chair, may I be permitted to again consult with my counsel?
Go ahead.
Thank you po.
Yes, contractors ang nagbibigay, nag-a-advance.
In the meantime, na nagko-consult, tanungin ko lang si Engineer Alcantara.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Sino una nakakilala sa inyo kay Saldico? Ikaw o si Yusek Bernardo? Sino nagpakilala kanino?
I think, si Yusek Bernardo po ang mas nauna kaysa po sa akin, Your Honor.
So that explains kung bakit tinanong siya ni Saldico kung maayos kang kausap.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ano ba ibig sabihin ng maayos kausap? Anong context nun? Maayos ka usap sa...
Siguro sir, doon sa...
Pakituloy mo nga.
Sir, siguro doon sa po sa...
Lagayan
pag-deliver po nung...
ng pera.
Opo, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Chairman, the reason why I'm raising the question about the contractors is obviously, we're mentioning politicians and rightly so dahil yan ang katotohanan, yan ang based on their testimonies. Pero yung mga contractor na iba, hindi nababangkit. No? Hindi naman siguro sinadiskaya lang yun. Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, again, may I the Prosecutor General regarding this issue?
Well, just to shortcut the process, sige, if it can be submitted to us and it will be confidential, and if we are to divulge anything, it will be under executive session. Under those circumstances, and will the information be provided this committee?
Well, at this time, Mr. Chair, the testimony of the witness insofar as the question which is being asked might affect the application, because this would also pertain to other cases that may be filed, and there may be witnesses whose security may be put at risk. So insofar as that is concerned, we cannot, Mr. Yusek Bernardo will not be making any disclosures. But then again, Mr. Chair, we will make representations with the Secretary of Justice if the same can be authorized in an executive session, sir.
Yes, please, so that we get a better sense of what's going on.
We will do that, Mr. Chair.
Because we are also looking at legislative initiatives or remedies to address precisely this collusion.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we will do that, sir.
Thank you. I have 28 seconds. Yes, siguro, Yusek Bernardo, meron ba tayong, kung merong mga nakakontak at naka-assign sa Senado, is it Yusek Cabral who's also assigned naman sa mga congressman? Tama ba yun? Is that my understanding? PLLO ba is kasama ba rito?
Mr. Chair.
DLLO pala, sorry.
Mr. Chair, meron pong kami parang kamukha po ni Joy Manginsay yata. When I was still in the department, siya po yung taga-liaison officer po ng DPWH sa Congress. Yun po yun.
What is her name?
Joy Manginsay. ASEC Joy Manginsay po. ASEC Joy. If I still remember, I can remember siya po yung
siguro pangarin ding imbitahin sa susunod na hearing, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, Ginoong Bernardo. Siguro isa na lang, Mr. Chairman, and this is really more of an administrative matter, because some of the witnesses are not here, and if they are not here, maybe the committee can explore possible other legal processes, or such as written interrogatories, which are under the rules of court. We are suppletory naman yung rules of court sa ating rules. Written interrogatories for those who are not here, because we will be having 2 weeks or almost 3 weeks of budget debates. In the meantime, we are still continuing to gather evidence. Baka pwedeng i-consider ng ating committee, Blue Ribbon Committee, yung modes of discovery. Yan yung written interrogatories, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Before I recognize Senator Marcoleta, bago natin iwanan yung allocable, kailan ba nagsimula ito? Parang hindi kami familiar eh. Yusek Bernardo, in your 40 years, kailan to sinong secretary nagsimula itong allocable?
I think, nung pong hindi ko po sure kasi nung naririnig ko po yan nitong panahonan ng nung dumating po si Secretary Bunoan na wherein of course there will be changes in the leadership.
Kasi we were here hanggang 2022. Wala kami narinig na allocable eh.
Yes po. Yes
so,
po,
sinasabi mo, panahonan ni Secretary Bunoan na coin niyang allocable, whatever that means.
Noon lang po nila tinawag siguro yung allocable because
pero in practice,
yun po yung practice kasi
in your 40 years, kailan nagkakaroon ng ganyan? Kailan nagsimula?
nung pong mga, ako po, natatandaan ko po, nung district engineer ako, merong mga apportioned projects na po ng mga congressmen, gano'n, nung panahon po na yun. So, tingin ko po, nung pa po, meron yung pork barrel pa po yata ang tawag doon eh. So, yun po yung panahon na yun na noon ako nakakaalam na merong certain amount intended for each legislators. Yun po.
Senator Marcoleta is recognized.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. I was a little bit excited this morning, Mr. Chair, nung makita ko yung 7th public hearing dahil nakita ko dun sa witnesses and resource persons. Yung new invitees is Congressman Ferdinand Martin Romualdez Sr. Only to be disappointed na hindi ko po siya nakita ngayon. And I also note, Mr. Chair, na ginamit po niyong basis, yung sulat po sa inyo ni Speaker Faustino Bojidi. Mr. Chair, hindi ko po masyadong makuha ang ibig sabihin ni Speaker Boji ng ito ang ginamit nila na para hindi padaluhin ang mga miyembro ng House of Representatives, subjecting them to a simultaneous legislative inquiry on the identical subject could potentially prejudice the findings of the ICI. Pasensya na po, Mr. Chair, pero hindi ko po talaga maintindihan yun. How can the findings of the ICI be prejudiced by their presence here? As a matter of fact, kahit na identical pa ito, ang atin pong mandate is in aid of legislation, and the ICI, I don't know what is their mandate. So, hindi po siya siguro justification. As I said, I was excited, pero ngayon po, kasi mas maganda sana kung nandito siya. It could have been more substantial sana. Having said that, Mr. Chair, siguro, isang araw na-process na natin ito kung ano ang dapat gawin talaga sa mga invitees na to. More particularly, the members of the House of Representatives that were initially mentioned at some point in several testimonies of the respondents that were invited by this committee. May I now proceed, Mr. Chair, to Engineer Bernardo. Kagaya po ng napansin sa pagtatanong ni Senator Kiko, ako din ay ganun din ang aking observation. Merong bahagi ng iyong salaysay na talaga namang very, very descriptive, talagang even the minutest detail. Ito'y mapapatotohanan sa dami ng mga pahina at mga saknong na binanggit mo. Kung halimbawa pag-uusapan, Senator Jingo Estrada, Senator Ramon Rebillan, talagang, kumbaga sa comics, wala ka nang hihilingin pa. Nandun na lahat. Pero pagdating sa bahagi ng mga congressmen or congresswoman, tipid na tipid ka. Halimbawa, yung Congressman Saldico, wala ka man lang sinabi tungkol sa magkano ang hiningi, ilang projects ang napunta rito, ilang porsyento. Kung paano mo dinescribe yung mga naunang senador na binanggit mo, iniisip namin ni Senator Kiko na dapat ganun din sana. Sa ganung paraan, makikita mo talagang walang pinagtatakpan, malinaw na ibahagi mo talaga, nalalaman mo. Lalong-lalo na sa'yo, naintindihan ko sa tagal ng iyong paglilingkod sa DPWH, ikaw ay sagana na sa karamihan ng eksperyensya at pakikipag-ugnayan sa maraming tao, kaugnay ng iyong trabaho. Ito po, Mr. Chair, litaw na litaw, binanggit tatlong congressman and congresswomen dito. Talaga pong napakatipid po ninyo. Sa makatwid, dito lang po ay kung ako ihahatol dito, meron po kayong deliberately na parang hindi na gusto pang ihayag yung maaring nalalaman po ninyo. Kaugnay po nito, Mr. Chair, nung tinatanong din ni Senator Kiko, kahit na mathematical lang or arithmetical estimation, kung talagang napakahalaga po nun eh. Initially, ito po yung mga nasa notes ko din. nagkakaisa pala kami ng direksyon ng pagtatanong. Bakit kinakailangang sangguniin mo ang abogado mo at pagkatapos ay makikipag-ugnayan ka kay Prosecutor General? First of all, Mr. Chair, I want to know if the Prosecutor General was invited in this meeting.
May I respond, sir?
Yes, PG Padula.
I did not receive any personal invitation, Mr. Chair, but I was directed by the Secretary of Justice to appear in today's hearing to represent him, sir.
That is my problem, Mr. Chair. Ito po, nalilimitahan yung kakayahan ng committee ito na magpahayag ang mga respondents. Katulad nung tinatanong ni Senator Kiko, at yun gusto kong maitanong, bakit kinakailangan po na pigilan siya at some point on the things that he might be able to shed light to this committee? Ano ngayon kung halimbawa tamaan yung mga ibang tao sapagkat ito naman ay pagsasalaysay ng kanyang buong nalalaman? Ang totoo niyan, indicative na sa mga ibang pinagsasabi niya rito na gusto niya talaga. Gusto niyang ihayag ang buong katotohanan. Pero dahil ba sa he is a potential applicant to Witness Protection Program, may influensyahan, malilimitahan ang kanyang exposure dito. Ito po yung hindi ko maintindihan, Mr. Chair. Why is the Department of Justice at some point is interfering in the proceedings of this committee? This is something that we should probably process. Kung ganun pala yun, hindi malayang supplemental affidavit ito. This is questionable to the very least. Ang sabi mo rito, Engineer Bernardo, statements of facts applicable to all. Sa Tagalog, pagsasalaysay na applicable sa lahat. Tama. Hindi kita narinig.
Sorry po, Mr. Chair. Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Kung ito'y pagsasalaysay ng applicable sa lahat, katulad ng binabanggit mo sa paragraph 9, I can confirm based on my personal knowledge that in some form or another or in various extents, most proponents have their own designated contractors who will take on the projects for the former's benefit and advantage. Sometimes other proponents would request me to suggest contractors for them who are known to me or referred to me by friends and other personalities. These are situations that national and local elected politicians would request me to source projects for them. Di dapat ihayag mo rin lahat. The problem is, there is a prosecutor general who is not very interested in prosecuting people. He's very selective, Mr. Chair. This is something that is objectionable.
May I be allowed to respond, Mr. Chair?
You may respond.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I take exception to the observation of the good senator that the Department of Justice is interfering in the investigation being conducted by the committee. In fact, Mr. Chair, whatever limitations there are to the testimonies of this witness who is present here is not something which is being dictated by the Department of Justice, but by law that is covered by Republic Act 6981, particularly Section 7 thereof. It is not our intention to restrict his testimony, as in fact,
for our education, kindly tell us what Section 7 is about.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Section 7 of RA 6981 clearly states confidentiality of proceedings. All proceedings involving application for admission into the program and the action taken thereon shall be confidential in nature. No information or documents or given or submitted in support thereof shall be released except upon written order of the department and of the proper court. Any person who violates the confidentiality of said proceedings shall upon conviction be punished with imprisonment of not less than 1 year, but not more than 6 years, and deprivation of the right to hold a public office or employment for a period of 5 years.
How can that provision apply?
Yes, Mr. Chair, we believe it will apply.
How can it apply tinatanong lang ni Sec Kiko, ni Senator Kiko, tinatanong lang namin, magkano ba lahat? How does provision apply?
Mr. Chair, any matter pertaining to the...
No. I'm not talking about any matter. Senator Kiko and myself is only trying to extrapolate gaano ba kalawak, the magnitude of this whole thing, para magkaroon lang kami ng mental picture about this.
To explain that, Mr. Chair, if I
How
may be
can
allowed.
that provision apply? Why would you limit the witness from telling at least an idea of how much it is?
Mr. Chair, in the earlier proceedings, the question asked by Senator Pangilinan was already addressed by this representation when we said that the witness may openly give a mathematical computation of what is based in the affidavit. There was no restriction given by the Department of Justice. I think that is on record, Mr. Chair.
Okay, why are you intervening?
Of the provisions of the law on confidentiality, sir. That is why it was referred to us. It was referred to us by the witness because he has
The
a
matter of
memorandum of
giving us an
agreement.
estimate is a confidential matter?
No, precisely, Mr. Chair. That is the reason why we had already acceded to the request of Senator Pangilinan.
Mr. Chair,
With the permission of Senator Marcoleta.
Just a point of information for our colleagues. Yes, actually, I precisely pointed out that it's already a public document that was submitted to us, and all that Mr. Bernardo would do is to make a mathematical computation of, or an estimate, diba? A ballpark figure of the amounts that may have been, total amounts that may have been involved, based solely, no, and within the confines of the affidavit, and therefore I was satisfied. But yes. And the DOJ said they will submit. They have allowed, or they will be submitting, or they have agreed that Mr. Bernardo, their witness, will be submitting and address my request.
may I continue, Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair, I'm surprised that an applicant to be processed under the WPP has the effect of limiting his testimony before this committee. This is a different matter altogether. Mr. Bernardo is being presented here. I think he was invited to shed light to the matters investigated in this committee. Whatever his use as a potential state witness, that is for the Department of the Justice to decide. Hindi dapat mag-conflict itong dalawang ito eh. Iyon lamang ang point doon, Mr. Chair. Parang ang nangyayari with the presence of the Prosecutor General here, parang nalilimita yung gusto naming malaman dito. Lahat ng itatanong namin, kinakailangan i-refer sa kanya. O parang ikaw ang director dito, hindi yung chairman. Ito yung parang inconsistent na nakikita ko. Let me continue, Mr. Chair. Engineer Bernardo, hindi lamang ikaw, kundi kahit na si Engineer Alcantara or even Bryce Hernandez and others, palaging binabanggit ang pangalan ni Saldico. Pati yung halaga ng pera, pati mga litrato ng pera na ito ibibigay kay Saldico, ito yung para kay Saldico. And for that matter, even the last witness presented before we adjourned, Orly Gutesa, connected also Saldico. Talagang maraming nagsasabi na talagay siya yung nasa center nito. And Gutesa did more. He connected the dots between Saldico and Martin Romualdez. Ang kinalulungkot ko dito, Engineer Bernardo, napakatipid nung pagkakalahad mo ng salaysay tungkol kay Saldico. Samantalang kay Engineer Alcantara, magkano na yun? 5 billion ng projects. At tinanong ka pa nga ni Engineer Bernardo, mahusay bang kausap si Engineer Alcantara? Mahusay naman po. Ang sabi ng chairman, tinanong ka, ano ibig sabihin ng mahusay kang kausap? Madali ka at saka honest kang mag-deliver ng... Yun, di ba ganun?
Yes, Your Honor po.
Ayun nga po, bakit sa ganung exposure ni Saldico sa lahat ng transaction na pinag-uusapan natin dito, bakit wala ka man lang ng pensyon na konting detalye, Engineer Bernardo?
Mr. Chair, binanggit ko na po nung umpisa na wala po akong personal knowledge sa transaksyon nila. Sa totoo lamang po, sila po ang kausap ni Saldico. Hindi po ako tungkol sa proyekto. Wala po kaming pinag-usapan ni Saldico except for some projects po na pinapalo up lang nila for implementation. Pero yung ang sasabihin niyo po ay tungkol po sa mga porsyento or whatever, sila po ang nag-uusap doon. Hindi po ako, Mr. Chair.
Nagre-report naman sa iyo si Engineer Alcantara, hindi ba?
Nabanggit po niya, minsan nagde-deliver siya, ganun, pero hindi po yung detalyado. I even don't know the projects that were being downloaded to by Saldico.
We'll give you additional 2 minutes, Senator Marcoleta, because your time is up. But we'll give you additional 2 minutes. Go ahead to pursue your point.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Okay lang. Engineer Bernardo, tungkol dun sa pagkakaiba ng mga coordinates dahil sa kaya nagkaroon ng konting problema. Yung sinubmit ni Yusek Cabral sa Pangulo na naging basihan ng sumbong sa Pangulo was based on MYPS application. Tama ba yun?
Mr. Chair, as far as I can recall, meron pong MYPS na balita ko po noon. Yun po yung... Mr. Chair, may I remind the Honorable Committee that during the time that there was a submission of those reports, I was no longer active in the DPWH because I was then on leave before the submission, I think, or retired na po ako after that. So, hindi ko po masyadong but I have talked to my people doon po dati na nalaman ko po na MIPS po ang kanyang sinubmit sa Pangulo, doon po sa sumbong sa Pangulo. Yun lamang po ang binanggit sa akin.
So, na-validate mo rin naman na base sa pagtatanong mo sa mga dati mong kasama sa DPWH nang talagang na-submit niyang application sa opisina ng Pangulo ay yung MYPS.
Yun po ang sinabi nila, Mr. Chair.
At ang totoo, dapat na isinabmit niya yung MPCA. Ano yun?
PCMA. But,
PCMA, na ito yung, kung tutuusin mo, ito yung mas accurate sana.
With the Survey 123 coordinates po.
Yes, yung Survey 123, kapag sinama mo sa MPCA, mas lalong katanggap-tanggap yung magiging coordinates ng bawat project. Tama?
Ayun po, as far as I know, yes, Mr. Chair, yun po yun.
Yung allocable na binabanggit kanina, na talaga namang yun, pang-alok talaga yun, ito'y inamin. Alam ito ni General Alcantara, nung tinatanong ko si former Secretary Bunoan, katabi pa niya si Yusek Cabral, inamin nila yung allocable ay inaalok talaga sa mga congressmen kasi doon nagsisimula yung deliberation. At noon ay sinabi nga na yung allocable ay nasa 350 billion kagad yun, given the number of the members of the House of Representatives. Over and above that, papasok yung leadership na another 100 billion. Kaya yun lang, 450 na. Pagpasok ng unprogrammed, another 150 billion. At katapos-tapusan nito, ito na yung bicameral na another 400 billion pesos. Doon na kwenta, doon sa pag-uusap na yon, Mr. Chair, na ang talagang nadadagdag pala sa original ceiling ng NEP ay at least 1 trillion pesos. Engineer Alcantara, nandun ka nung tinatanong ko ito at na-establish natin ang bahaging ito. Tama ba?
Yes, Your Honor po.
Salamat po, Mr. Chair.